What's going on, guys? Jackson here from Vendetta Sports Media, and thanks for watching this episode of our 2022 NBA offseason guide for all of the NBA teams. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new episode drops. Also, check the link down in the description below. There you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and also our TikTok. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy the video. In this episode, we will be taking a look at the Los Angeles Lakers. The 2021-22 season was a major disappointment for the Los Angeles Lakers, considering how high the expectations were. Injuries and a lack of depth contributed to the Lakers missing the playoffs entirely, which again is a massive disappointment considering the Lakers were given the second best odds to win the title this year. Is there a way for general manager Rob Pelinka to fix this roster and get the Lakers back into title tension for the 2022-23 season? Let's take a look and find out. The roster composition for the Lakers right now is not great. LeBron is still playing at a high level going into his 20th season. That's just incredible to me. But what other bright spots does this roster currently have? AD is great, but is super injury prone. Part of the reason why the Lakers won in the bubble was because AD was healthy at the right time. The trade for Russell Westbrook was just really a bad trade. Sure, Kyle Kuzma, KCP, and Montrezl Harrell aren't exactly world beaters, but what production they gave to the Lakers was surely missed. As for Westbrook, he is a shell of his former self and is seen by many to be holding back this Lakers team. The rest of the roster is pretty bare bones, with the only positive really being Malik Monk. THT and Austin Reeves really don't move the needle for me, and neither does an advanced and aged Carmelo Anthony. So now we go back to our original question. Is there a way to fix this roster? The answer to that question is really complex and revolves around being able to move Westbrook, which should be the #1 priority for the Lakers this offseason. That is, if you can get someone to take Westbrook's contract. Westbrook has only 1 year left on his deal, but the $47 million price tag makes it extremely difficult to move. Yeah, it's expiring money, but usually you have to attach a first-round pick or something for someone to take on the money from that contract. And the Lakers have no first-round picks really for the foreseeable future. But let's pretend for a moment that a few teams would be willing to take Westbrook's contract under certain circumstances. What would those moves look like? Who should the Lakers target? The two most popular rumors being thrown out in NBA Twitter have been Kyrie Irving and Zach LaVine. The Nets would only move on from Kyrie if they are just absolutely done with all of his antics. But such a move might endanger irritating their only other superstar in KD. And the Nets already have a guard who can't shoot in Ben Simmons, so I'm not sure if the Nets would pull the trigger on such a trade like that. LaVine is an unrestricted free agent, so he's free to choose wherever he wants to go. But he'd only be able to get to the Lakers via a sign and trade. LaVine has recently said to TMZ that he loves the Lakers, he's always been a fan of them, and that he loves LA, and he even went to college at UCLA. So there's a personal connection to the city and even to the team there. But LaVine would be leaving a lot of money on the table if he chose LA over Chicago. As for the details of the trade, I don't think Westbrook is enticing enough for the Bulls. He just doesn't fit their timeline of what Chicago's trying to do right now. I know usually getting something for a player is better than nothing, but that may not be the case when it comes to the current Westbrook. Really, the only other option in getting rid of Westbrook would be a straight up swap with the Houston Rockets for John Wall. I admit it kind of would be funny to see two players that were previously traded for each other because their contracts are so astronomically high in price, to see that happen once again, but I honestly wouldn't even know what to think of Wall until at least seeing him in a few games in a Lakers jersey. He sat all of last season, he didn't fit the timeline of what the Rockets were trying to do, and Westbrook doesn't even fit that timeline either. So the Lakers might just be out of luck when it comes to getting rid of Westbrook's contract. The last nuclear option for the Lakers to get more pieces or even another star to put around LeBron would be to move on from Anthony Davis. Now, I can kind of see why the Lakers and Lakers fans especially, but the Lakers organization, why they would want to move off of AD. He's been injured for most of his time as a Laker, and moving off of him for solid depth or even another star could help level out this Lakers roster. If LaVine is a prime target for the Lakers this offseason, maybe you could convince the Bulls to give you LaVine and another depth piece, or maybe a second rotation player in lieu of picks. I'm not sure if the Bulls go for it, but it's the best chance the Lakers have at improving the roster. One major move that has already been made by the Lakers this offseason is the hiring of a brand new head coach. Frank Vogel was used as the scapegoat for all of the Lakers' recent problems and was promptly fired at the conclusion of the season. But it has recently been announced that Darvin Ham, an 8-year veteran of the NBA, will take over as their new head coach. Ham hails from the great Mike Budenholzer coaching tree. Many Budenholzer assistants have done well as NBA coaches, and I've heard nothing but good things about Ham since his hiring. It seems like, at least for now, the Lakers offseason is starting out on a good foot. How the 2022 offseason goes for the Lakers could very well mean the extension or closing of their championship window. LeBron is still playing at an insanely high level, but he is getting older, and injuries in recent years have started to stick with him and linger longer than what they did in the first 15 or so years of his career. The Lakers need a ton of help and have little to no leverage to get it. If the Lakers do somehow repair this roster and return to championship contention, it could go down as one of the greatest off seasons in the history of the NBA. But as of right now, things are not looking good in La La Land. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of our 2022 NBA off-season guide series. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified the next time a new episode in this series or any other series we've got on the channel drops. This is Jackson Law from Vendetta Sports Media, signing off, and I will see you guys next time.